Hello, everybody. Welcome to second episode of.
It's not that I don't like you. What was it
Okay,
again? I
no,
hate your opinion. I hate your opinion.
you forgot the
I
name
hate
of
your
you
opinion.
forgot the name of our podcast already. Okay, so last week, I feel like it was kind of rough around the edges. Would you agree?
Well, are you talking to me or the audience?
I'm talking to you. This is a
Okay.
this is a
I thought it was
podcast between you
beautiful,
and me.
I think what was rough was our appearances, but nothing we can do about that.
It's
I
okay.
think
I
the
came with makeup
content was
today.
good. Yeah. Good,
Okay,
good, good.
I think I might have been like I feel like I always regret what I'm thinking about, or like I always regret what I say like after it happens. So I feel like I rambled too much. I feel like it should really just be a conversation. And so I feel like to prevent that. Okay, but to be honest, I think it's a good practice for like speaking. So like I'm enjoying like, refining what I say, etc. But anyways,
Mm-hmm.
to avoid
Mm-hmm.
like kind of like a messy conversation, we prepared a couple topics just so that we can have like a starting point
Mm-hmm.
off of the conversation.
But before you go, you mentioned regretting what you said, and I also regret what I said. And because I feel like I was hating on short people,
Yeah, I don't think you were
and
hating.
but I think I've changed my mind. That's the thing. Just in this
We
one
love
week since
growth.
we had
Growth.
that podcast, I think I changed my mind about short people and dating short people for my kids, because it really isn't what matters in life, like if you're really
True.
concerned about
True.
being short, that's just an insecurity that like it's like you don't have to be insecure about being short because it's not something that matters that much. Um, and I realize there are things that are much worse than being short, which I already knew, but in any case, I'm not saying I'm open to dating someone very short, but I have.
Hey, it's just your personal preference, okay? My whole concern was if you're even gonna bag someone, period. Tall or short.
So I think I was wrong. I was wrong. I don't think I should be worried
Wow.
about it. You're right. I should
He was
bag
wrong.
who I can
He
bag.
was
I can
wrong.
bag.
I was right.
But it's only been a week, so I still need to think about it a little more.
Okay.
But we
But
have new topics, right?
yes, new topics.
Mm-hmm.
Um so our first topic, I don't and this isn't I mean, I think we might disagree on some areas on this, but it's just conversation. We're not trying to like have like a debate or anything, like just to converse about something. So, our first topic was what it means to have and to keep friends. So, I was telling Philip earlier, like, um, I think there's like this preconception, and to be honest, like, I fall into this sometimes where I have like a lot of friends who, I won't see them for a really long time or I won't talk to them for a really long time, but it's as if like, it was the same when I like last saw them, right? Like, even if it was like a long time in between. But I personally think like and I feel like this is just true. Like it's not even an opinion. I'm so sorry. But you have to like work to keep relationships. Like anything in life is hard. Like you were not born into this life like where it's going to be easy. Like even rich people, like you can't really buy relationships. They say, money can't buy love, whatever. But you have to work towards having relationships, whether it's like your family or your friends or like a boyfriend or a girlfriend, right? And I feel like friendships get overlooked the most to me. Like I feel like people put emphasis on like, oh yeah, you need to work towards like communicating with your partners and like communicating with your parents, like generational differences, blah blah blah. But I feel like friendships like get overlooked. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think?
Friendships get overlooked like it's
In
just
terms of like,
automatic.
yeah, I think some people feel like it's automatic when I genuinely think it's not. Like I'm pretty low maintenance in terms of my friendships, but I feel like I befriend people who genuinely love me and care for me. Um, so I'm very like lucky and blessed to have people around me who put in the effort to take care of me and show me that they love me and show me that they want to continue being my friend. Um, so yeah, what do you think?
So it puts me in a tough spot because I wonder why people are friends with me. Because I don't
That
really feel
sounds
like
so sad.
I don't really do things for them, you know. I don't
Mm-hmm.
really like care for them. So like just recently like someone was like telling me like opening up like emotionally about
Mm-hmm.
something and I just like really didn't know what to say. Like I thought, okay. Wow. Like and then I'm like at a loss for words. So it's like not that I like provide great emotional support. Um I can listen, but like I'm not very empathetic. I don't have great empathy.
But remember what you said? You said last week, like, you're not judgmental. I feel like
Yeah.
that plays a part into, being a good listener,
Yeah. But I think sometimes people like they want to be consoled, right?
Mm,
Like I'm not good at that part, I think. I can if someone
okay.
wants to like confess their sins to me or like divulge their deep dark secrets, like I think I can be like that would be good, right? Like like
Like, your lack
it's
of
good.
an adverse reaction is the comfort.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I don't really care
Yeah.
enough to like be appalled. Could be one way to put it.
Okay. I mean, okay, that brings up a good point, though. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't think, like, I just want to make it clear, like, I don't think in relationships you have to offer, like, relationships should not be transactional. And I think I said this last week, too. But there's like a point where you do have to like give someone something, like you have to like put apples into the basket and like your partner will put apples into the basket and you periodically take apples out of the basket. Apples representing effort, of course. And like, okay, regarding what you said, I think you can contribute in other ways than being like a good listener or a good like console comforter or whatever. Um Yeah, I think you just have to like think about it or ask your friends why. I think for you, I think I remember we talked about this in Discord. I'm like, yeah, why am I your friend? I think you made like a pretty spot on call about not being judgmental. Like you do talk about like whenever like I have a problem or someone else has a problem, like it's always pretty objective. But I'm personally a person that appreciates being like someone who's being objective with me about like a certain problem. Like I do enjoy when people just comfort me like, oh, it's okay, like just letting me vent. But at the end of the day, like you got to take some kind of action. Like if I'm having like a bad time at work, like it can't just be like, oh, I'm so sorry, your boss is this and that. But like at the end of the day, like what I want to hear from a friend is like, hey, but like you got this, like life moves on. Like you have so many other things going for you. And like you can leave the conversation like stronger, not just like babied, like, oh, poor thing, poor thing. Cause like if you leave the conversation like that, like they're just gonna come back and complain again, and you're just gonna be like, oh, this again.
Right.
So
Right.
I do appreciate like you being like all of you guys, like most of my friends are pretty objective and will like tell me the truth, like being your honesty. So I think that's like one good point about you. And especially because we
Yeah.
have differing opinions so often, I think like I always appreciate your input because I might hate you in the moment, but like I do appreciate it because it is like objective.
Yeah, and it's like because it's actually the easy thing for me to do,
To
right?
fight me?
To fight you, but also like if I've become someone that someone else confides in and it's gonna be a recurring thing, like I don't want you to like keep coming back with the same issue, so like it's better to
Exactly.
say the truth, right? but I think we skimmed over something very important. And it's
Go on.
that
I'm so sorry.
you said relationships should not be transactional, but you got to put apples in the basket. You got to put apples in the basket. And so that got me wondering, like what's really the difference there? And I had a thought,
Mm, mm.
like have you ever like witnessed, of course you have, but like rhetorically, when you witness somebody like breaking up and going through that process, like should I break up with this person? Should I not? And we're going to romantic territory. I think this is more
Mm-hmm,
about
mm-hmm.
like platonic, right?
It's okay.
But one thing I've heard many times, like the advice that people give to the person who's wondering, should I break up with him or
Mm-hmm.
her, is write down a list of the pros and cons of the relationship, right?
Oh, oh, uh-huh.
So I think what's going on there is there is a transaction to the relationship, but it's
Mm-hmm.
just hidden under a veil, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like an illusion covering the transaction. And no one wants to think of relationships as transactions, right? That's why you say relationships are not transactional. Um, and I also don't want to think that relationships are transactional, but what that really means is we don't want to think about the transactions that are going on in
Okay.
the relationship, but they're in there working as like a little machine and like ticking, ticking, ticking to keep the relationship
Okay.
going, right? Like every transaction's like the grease on the wheel, like, and then when the transactions are not even, it starts, right? It starts like rattling and wheezing, and then you hear the noises and the vibrations, and you can't help but to like start thinking about this stuff. I think that's kind of what's going on. I think you need enough transaction on both
Okay.
sides to keep the wheels turning. What do you think
I
about that?
agree. Okay.
You
Let me
do.
revise what I said. Let me revise what I said, okay?
You changed your mind already. You think relationships are transactional now?
Okay. No, no, no. I agree with what you said, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
think I think I disagree with the part where it's like it's hidden behind a veil.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is hidden, but I don't think going into a relationship the main focus is that it's transactional, where it's like, okay, I'm gonna, for example, in romantic territory, like I'm gonna date this guy because he has money and he's eye candy and he is what else?
Christian.
He's Christian. Like it's like all solely like for me, right? Like I get to have his money, like I get to have like, you know, I have this eye candy on my arm, right? Like my parents are happy because, you know, but and again, I think I said this last week as well. Like I cannot genuinely speak to being in a relationship. Like I came to this conclusion that I just don't know what it means to be in like a romantic relationship. But in terms of like a transactional side, like there will be transactions, right? Like you will like be compatible with a person in a certain way. Like I'm really impatient, so I'll probably end up marrying like someone who is patient, right? Like someone who matches me like a puzzle piece, right? But going into a relationship, like it shouldn't be solely transactional. Like I'm only friends with this person because they're a really good listener. I'm only friends with this person because they're really good at comforting me whenever I have a bad time, right? But in that sense, like so in this friendship territory, you know, what makes you like what makes the other person want to stay friends with you, you know? And in that sense, it is transactional because like what are you doing to like be her friend, right? But genuinely, like it's called like a friendship like together, right? Like you have to be like working together and like to love somebody is like a choice. I was like talking to somebody like the other day about this, but like to love somebody is a choice. Like once you get married, like again, I know nothing about marriage, but like once you get married, you have to sometimes you'll get tired of them, you know, but you have to choose to like uphold um this like oath you swore, like this what is it called? Like your vows, right? Through sickness and health, you know? Um and through like anger and emotional whatever. Like you have to choose, right? So it's like when you're friends with somebody, you have to choose to love them. You have to choose to like do this and that for them. And that's what makes it a friendship. So I do agree. Like if I said that relationships aren't transactional, I think I meant relationships shouldn't solely be transactional. So I'd like to revise that.
Okay, that's interesting. I think we can agree on that point. Um, I guess I'd like to bring up an example. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So, how about like friendships with the opposite sex? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think this is an interesting one.
Oh
Because,
wait,
like,
that is interesting. I'm thinking
yeah.
about it now. Continue.
Mm, I think, how do I put this in a way that's
Why don't
appropriate?
you turn it into a question? Be like,
Good idea. All right. So, when you are becoming friends with a man, right? And he wants to be friends with you, but he has no intention of dating you. But he does want your time. He wants your presence. He wants your jokes. He wants your emotional support. But then you're like, how does that make you feel? Like, so you want all the things that would make me a good friend slash partner, but you don't want me as a partner. You only want me
mm-hmm.
as a friend. Do you feel that's fair?
Like to not have the label, but do like do a girlfriend job in a friend in a friend role like that.
mm,
I think I think the shape of the relationship would be different. I think in a like a romantic relationship, there's more loyalty involved and definitely like time. I mean, I think for like a romantic relationship, more time than a friend. So I feel like if it gets to the point where it's like, bro, like we hanging out like 8 hours a day, like this is crazy. Like, you know, I think you have to set some kind of boundaries, especially if there's some, there's potential for a relationship to progress, right? And so, did I answer your question?
yeah. Do you think your boundaries have like changed over time as you gotten older?
Oh yeah, for sure,
All right,
for
can you go
sure.
into that a little bit?
You just want me to talk about it?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I think it's different because of what like my desires are right now. Like definitely like when you're in high school and college, like I want to be in a relationship, like I want this and that. So definitely like and I think many people fall into this, right? Like being friends with guys because like you want their attention and you want and your friend and you're just trying to be friends with them, right? But it's because like you want them to like you or you want something to happen, right? I think I think a lot of like young people fall into that. But now that my frontal lobe is developed, also now that I think now I feel very secure in myself, and I think when you really want a relationship, um, it's because like sorry, no offense. I know you're not like this, but I know like maybe part of you a long time ago was. I think wanting to be in a relationship like so bad, like really bad, is just like a sign of like insecurity. Does that make sense? Like I think right now I can attribute my lack of desire to be in a relationship with the security I have in my current relationships. Like I have you guys, I have all my friends who like love and care for me. I have my mom and my dad and my sister, all my family members, all the church people. And so I feel so loved and so full that if I had felt this when I was like in college or high school, Or like if I had just like expanded my mind, you know, like opened my mind's eye and seen like how blessed I am to have like all these people around me, you know, I really wouldn't have wanted a boyfriend or anything like that, right? Like I think people just like crave love. Um, and right now, like I feel like surrounded and like full of it. Not to sound like super sappy or anything, but like that I don't want a boyfriend because I already because now it's kind of like there's no like empty hole where like I need love from somebody else. But so now it's like now that it's like filled up, like everything is external. Like I just gotta do work. I have to talk to him. I have to hang out with him. Like dang, like it's a lot of work. That's like time and effort, you know? Did that answer your question?
I think so. I mean,
Also, you should.
maybe.
Also, I feel like I'm just giving speeches. Like you have to interrupt me, okay? Like,
Okay. Well, hmm. I don't know. I think the reason I'm asking is if I had to like count my friendships, right? And then I count my female friendships, I count my male friendships, I probably have okay, I know that I have more female friends. And I don't know if it's a problem that I have.
okay,
Um,
that's a good point. I think. Okay, I think it's different if you were like in college or like younger, right? Because I think now that we're adults, we're more like established in like boundaries and have more experience. Obviously, like you can never be too old to like not have boundaries and like make mistakes. But um I was gonna make a point, like I think male friends like being friends with guys and being friends with girls is really different. Um which is actually, you know what? I'm thinking about it. If I had to count my friendships, how many
ooh,
would there be?
Maddie, you have more guy friends and
I
girlfriends.
think it's equal. I think it's
Okay, okay.
equal. Okay. But okay, I think there's like a lot of variables in this. Do you think it's a problem for you to have more female friends than
Hmm. All right. Well, I guess to expose, I feel like if I get into it, it's like kind of exposing
you don't have
myself.
to.
Like
You
my,
don't have to.
hmm. Well, all right. So imagine this. All right. We have a friend, a dear friend, right? That he goes on Hinge dates, right? And then he becomes friends with them if it doesn't work out, right?
Shut up.
Shout out to the friend. So it's kind of like I might have that kind of thing going on, although it's not as explicit, right? I'm not going on Hinge dates and becoming friends with that. I've never done that. But like when I'm making a new friend, right? I think see when I make a new female friend, it's like more like dopamine in my brain, like choo 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 choo.
Oh, because it's
Cause
like
I'm like
with yeah.
yeah, cause I'm kind of like curious about them. Like I want to get to know them. I want to know if there is like some kind of compatibility maybe, right? And then so like I'm like more motivated to talk to them, right? Versus with a guy, it's like, hey, what's up, bro? Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
So you
Oh
think that's
wait,
your problem?
oh we have a similar interest. Okay, I guess we can kind of vibe, or like, oh wait, I think you're kind of cool. Like I can look up to you. Okay, I think I'll try to be your friend. But then like if it's just a dude, like I have no desire in me to walk up to that guy and talk to him. So
Okay,
is
wait.
it a problem? Diagnose me.
Um, let me do something really quick. My mom texted me. Can I come back really
Okay.
quick? Just keep the
Yeah.
recording going.
Okay.
But just remember your question. So you have to ask me again when I come back.
Okay.
I'm coming. Sorry, I didn't eat more because these things. I'm so sorry. Hold on. Okay. Sorry, everybody. I'm back. Philip, could you repeat your question for me?
Yeah, I was asking for your diagnosis of
Mm.
my problem, if it is even a problem. Which actually, I think now that I mentioned it, I asked my therapist who, when I was seeing a therapist I don't even know when it was. I think I asked him that. And he was like, no big deal, no big deal. But he was saying that to every single one of my problems. So I was like, okay.
You're like, okay, not helpful. Like that.
No, it was like, okay, thank you. It's not a big deal. Like, I validated. Like, I don't have to worry. I'm some kind of crazy guy, right?
Okay. My
But I
diagnosis is
also was like, okay, go ahead.
you're like, are you sure? Well,
Yeah.
I think I agree with him. Like, it's not that big of a deal. But he didn't. It didn't sound like he had really expanded on it. Like, why it's not a big deal. Like, when you started talking, I was gonna say like it's not a problem because to have like more female friendships than guy friendships, because like if I just think about you, like you grew up with two sisters, and so like I just imagine you would be like naturally be more comfortable like talking to girls, right? But then you started talking about just like being curious, and I was like, oh, okay, like I can see like, but I think like it's not that big of a deal to echo your therapist because it's like, well, one, naturally like you are attracted to women, so you're like what goes on in a woman's mind, like, but I don't, doesn't sound like you have like ill intentions, like I'm just gonna become friends with this girl so I can attract her and then break her heart, or like I'm gonna make her attracted to me, or we're gonna get into a relationship, right? Like I don't think you have that like those kinds of like ill intentions, and I'm sure it like will come up in the back of your mind, right? Excuse me. But you don't sound like a maniac, like kind of some kind of serial like female friend haver or something like that. And I know you, like you don't seem like that to me. But maybe it's just from my perspective, and we low key hate each other. So I don't know, but what do you think
Hmm.
about what I just said?
I appreciate what you said. Thank you for making me feel normal. But here's my own diagnosis, all right? And it kind
Okay,
of leads
curious.
into our next topic. I think it's because I am slash was, but perhaps I still am, somewhat of a loser, okay?
Okay,
And
but
what I mean
define
by that,
loser. Define
okay, and that's one thing we can get into. We can go into what we think makes someone a loser, all right?
But okay, I don't have a definition, but I want to know what makes you think you're a loser. Like
Okay,
Philip.
so as a man, when I look at other men, I can think that they're a loser if they're like giving, I hate to use these like terms, right? Like alpha, beta, whatever, right?
Okay.
But if like a man is like way too beta, and what I mean by that is like super, super introverted, like he has no courage, like shaking in his voice, like that's kind of like being a loser, right? So as a man, you kind of don't respect that in another man. But women like are much more like tender and like caring, and like they'll give you a chance. Like they're not gonna give you a chance as like a romantic partner, but like as a human being, like they'll like
Agree.
look out for you a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was my problem in the past, where I was kind of giving that beta energy, beta vibe out, and the other guys would like just kind of like look over me, right? They don't like respect me. And then the women would be like, they'd be like curious, and like they want to get to know me, and like I would be quiet, right? But like that would kind of be like my weapon of like mystique and intrigue. Oh, like I wonder what he's thinking. He's not really saying anything. But guys don't care. Like guys will like, oh, he's quiet. Like I don't really give a f, right? But then girls might be like, oh, like maybe he's nice. Maybe right?
Oh,
I
he's
think
oh he's
that's
quiet because he's nice. He's
yeah.
a nice person.
Yeah, maybe he's nice, or maybe he does like have something interesting to say, right? And so I think that style of socializing that I had, like that kind of like start small and like kind of like build and like get a little like I'll share my thoughts, my interesting thoughts, right? Or like my surprising personality quirks that you wouldn't expect from a quiet man. And I feel like girls are like, oh, like he's different than what I expected, right? Like oh, like in Korean, there's like a term for that, like 반전 매력, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it like works with becoming closer with girls, but for guys, they just don't care. Like guys, like they just want you to be who you are, like this, and girls want that too. I think, especially in like a man, like romantic partner. But like, I think that's kind of how I've been like becoming friends with people, and I think that might be why I don't have like a lot of like male friends. And of the male friends that I do have, like many of them are like very kind people, right? Like they have developed that like nurturing side in them that's not present in many of men. Um,
Okay, I agree with that part. As far as like your male friends that I know of, that is a true statement.
right, right. They're very developed in that sense.
Um,
And I think because of my job, I've changed and I'm currently changing to be more of a assertive man, right? But that's how I would diagnose myself. I think that's why I like have more female friends than male friends.
mhm.
What do you think about that?
I think throughout a lot of your explanation, I heard a lot of like projection. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Not in a bad way, but like I think to to reference like when you're talking about, growing up,
Mm-hmm.
I think those thoughts that you made up in your head that like, oh, guys won't be my friend because I'm too quiet. I think that like set like a foundation for you in your like as a mindset like when you're young, and then like you grew up, and now like in your head you're like, oh, I'm, or like back then you were like, oh, I'm a loser, like I'm so quiet, like this and that. So now that like you're more of an assertive person, like you've grown more confident now, like because you saw people like you thought people saw you like that, now you're seeing other people like that, when I think in reality like none of that is true. Like I feel like quite certain that like guys don't, first of all, I don't think men think that deeply anyways. I think if anyone would think you're a loser, it's probably some girl. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, if a guy was like, oh, like, he's too quiet, he'd be like, oh, whatever. He probably doesn't want to hang out with me, or like, I won't be able to have fun with him. Like, it's just like that. It's not like, oh, he's a loser, I'm gonna look down on him. Like, I don't think it's like that. If anybody has that kind of like mindset, it's probably a girl. Like, she's such a dweeb, like like movies and stuff. But I think like it just sounded like a lot of like projecting, right? Like you thought people looked at you like that. Now you're looking at people like that, and now you feel like you need to be more and more assertive to not be like what you were before. That's what it sounded like to me. But going back to when I said, I think because you have two older sisters, like I think you just, again, I think you just naturally lean, or yeah, lean towards having like female relationships, or like female coded relationships, like more nurturing relationships. Like again, yes, like a woman will genuinely see you as a friend first, and not just somebody that they're interested in, which I think more men do that more often than not. Like I'm personally like very like lucky to have a lot of male friends who like just care about me as a person and not a piece of meat. But I think like again, like our two guy friends, we'll call them friend A and friend B. I think friend A and friend B are very nurturing, like, you know. And what's interesting too is like they both have brothers, right? And I think people always say like, oh, bro, like guys with sisters like are like the way to go, right? Like, but both of them are like very kind people, very kind, honest, like loving people who don't have like ill intentions in that area. And so and then your first question was like, is it a problem that you have more girlfriends than guy friends? Like, I think knowing you, it's not. Like, and like also, it's like I would think it's quality over quantity. Like, sure, you have fewer male friends, but those are very quality friendships that you want to like, cling on to. And yeah, you might have more like quality girl friendships, but like, you know, it's like the substance in that relationship, not like how many you have. So I don't think it's a problem. I think it's just like the way you are. Like you like to talk about things deeply and like objectively and emotionally sometimes, right? And like who offers that kind of those kinds of conversations more often? Like probably women, right? So like kind of just makes sense considering your personality.
I'm a feminine person, is what you're
Yeah.
saying. Hmm.
You still haven't defined loser though. Like is loser
Oh,
just
okay.
someone who's like quiet? And I know you kind of did, but I think I'm not.
So I think everybody has their own definition of loser, and I could just be projecting this, but I think I kind of discussed this with you earlier, but the person that I'm most repelled from is the person that's most like me, but the worst qualities of me, right?
Mm-mm.
So like,
We talked about this I think yesterday, right?
yes, yes. So for example, like me, I grew up very, very introverted. It depending on the environment, but I was very, very introverted, like very like afraid to have words to say. Like I'm like I would analyze really like almost any social interaction like in my head and like plan what I'm gonna say in my
Mm.
head. That's a big thing for me. And like literally I'm like one of the worst people at that. Like probably if I was to put myself in like a percentile, I'd put myself at like 1 percentile, first percentile. But actually maybe not true. I think the people who are really bad, like they don't like surface in society. Like
Okay. To
they're like
even be
shut-ins,
counted
right?
in the
Yeah,
data.
yeah. But like of like people that are kind of like visible in society, but like there's like a subset of people that are like that only exist in like a very insular community, like a church community, right?
Mm-mm.
And that was like me. Like I could only kind of exist in like kind of a church community. It's not that I would be like very outspoken in there. I'd be very quiet, but like that's where I would be visible, have a visible presence. But I'm getting off topic, but like I'm just saying like my weaknesses are like kind of this like introversion and social anxiety and this like insecurity basically, right? If you're very secure in yourself, then you can walk up to anyone and like say what's up, right? Like you have nothing to be afraid of,
Mm-mm.
right? But because I'm like so I have like a irrational insecurity because I'm also like very confident in other ways. Like I
Yeah.
have like an irrational self-belief in myself, but I'm also like very insecure about myself at the same time. So I think like I'm like the worst person I know that's like visible at this kind of stuff. So then when I meet someone that's kind of like me or like worse than me, like even more introverted or more insecure, like if it's another man
You're like,
that's like that,
loser.
I'm like get away from me. Like you would think
Mm-mm.
that I could relate to them and feel empathetic, right?
No, yeah.
No, but it's like you're at the bottom of a pit and you're like climbing to get out, right? Like yo, get away from me, like this loser.
Uh-uh. Get me out of loser town. Like
Yeah, exactly. Like ugh, like I don't want to be reminded of like this self, right? This reflection of myself.
hmm
That's the worst parts of myself. So I think for me, that's what a loser is. Someone that's like a man that's like insecure, dishonest, um, super introverted, has no courage. Like if I see another man like that, like get away from me. Like you remind me of the old me and the current me that I'm like
the worst
trying to
parts
like
of you,
get
yeah.
past of. Yeah, yeah. I think for other people, it could be like someone they hate. Like let's say someone hated their dad, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they see somebody that reminds them of their dad.
Mm-hmm.
That like to them that might be a loser. But that's not me for that's not true for me at all. Like it's like purely what I was talking about. Like the worst parts of me when I see that in another person, that is a loser.
Mm. Yeah, I think when we were talking the other day, I agreed where it's like the people that you don't like or that you just feel averse to are the people who I feel like I heard someone say a long time ago, like you hate in others like what you hate about yourself, you know? So, and I totally agree with that. Like I'll look at other people and I'll hate when they're like irresponsible. But it's like I hate when I'm irresponsible. Like I know I'm like, you know, or like I don't like impatient people. But like I'm super impatient in certain areas. So, yeah, I agree. I mean,
So what's your loser?
my
Who do you look at
loser,
that you're like repelled?
sure.
Like you want to run away? Like you're like, "Ugh."
I think I think the part where you're like when you hate somebody or you like dislike somebody a lot, it's because like they reflect a lot of things in you. I think that applies to me. Um, I'll have to think about it. That's a good question. If you had to guess what my loser is, I want to know. I mean,
Hmm.
I think out of all of my like friends, like my close friends, like you've seen all like you should have the most ammo like against me, like as a bad, not a bad person, but like an annoying person. I feel like I feel like I get the most impatient with you. I get the most um combative against you. like like annoyed and angry. What do you think? If you had to guess. And you don't have to guess if you can't think about it.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just trying to think about the times where you have like been frustrated at me and like mm,
Okay, but okay. Some of the things I don't like in other people, I don't consider myself like that. Like I don't I really hate when people are unprepared, when people don't plan in advance. And I'm laughing, listeners, because when we started the podcast last week, like he didn't know how to use the DJI camera, and I was like, you bought this thing and you don't even use it. Like I was annoyed. I am so sorry, Philip. I was so annoyed. I was like, you didn't even watch a video before you bought it. Like this is why it annoyed me. Not to like call you out, because I think like it's probably just something I and a few others get annoyed at. But it's like if you make a big purchase, a $650 purchase, right? Like shouldn't you research it and like decide if you really want it and if it's like a good purchase? But it's been collecting dust for you, hasn't it, Philip? You didn't even know how to flip the camera. Like I don't like when people aren't don't prepare in advance, whether it's like making good
mm.
making
But
financial
that's not
decisions.
you.
But
That's
I
not
don't
you.
think
You
that's
are
me. Like
prepared.
I'm pretty
Mm.
prepared. I am pretty like money, like financially conscious, and I don't like when people just like squander money or like don't. I don't like when people don't appreciate what they have. Oh my gosh, like I think so many people are so blessed, and yet they complain about the smallest things. It annoys me so bad. Like, um,
So what do you think? That's a good question. That's a good point because I don't know. I didn't even consider the people that are just so opposite of me that like there are people like that. I don't like them because they're so different from me. They think so different from me. But I don't like for me, I'm not sure if I think of them as a loser though. Like
yeah.
just like,
Loser,
I
loser,
don't
loser.
like them. I don't get along with them,
Okay,
but
you're
I
right. I
don't
need to
call them a
reframe.
loser.
I
Yeah.
need to reframe. I'm
Yeah.
just like saying what I hate. I'm just like venting. Okay, a loser. I don't think. I feel like I don't think of people as losers. If like there was like a stereotypical loser, I think I would just feel like really bad for them. Like I would feel pity probably first, But a loser to me is a loser like someone you just don't respect. Because I don't think like I think loser has a certain connotation that I'm not like
Mm-hmm.
clicking with. Does that make sense?
I think for me, a loser is someone that
I think you're afraid of being a loser.
you want
You
to
know?
push them back into the hole they came from. Like, shh, never let me see you again.
Okay, let me think. I think what I was saying earlier does kind of play into what I think is a loser, and I just want to like clarify like it's a very loose term. Like no one is a loser, right? But I think for you, like your loser is like the person like you would absolutely hate to be. Can we agree on that?
It's like the person that I was
And like
slash
you
can be that I would hate to be. Yeah,
okay, well,
I agree.
I'm getting like brain tingles. Like I'm starting to think. I think someone okay, when I forgot to mention this, but when you were talking about how like a long time ago, like you were very soft spoken, like had a lot of social anxiety, can't just like go out and talk to random people. Like I feel like now when you're saying like, oh, go up to someone and say what's up, dude, I do that all the time now. And I'm like kind of proud of it, right? Like sometimes I'll just go up to someone and be like, oh my gosh, like I like your shirt, or like, oh my gosh, like or just like start up random conversations with random people. Like I think it's so fun. But I think maybe someone who can't do that. So maybe we're like kind of on the same page in terms of being a loser. But like what I think about is like if I have like a instinctual thought where it's like, oh, that's a person that person's a loser, like my second thought is, oh, maybe they're just like more quiet. Or like that's just not how they think, or that's just not how they function. And if everyone was the same in this world, like I think we would all kill each other. So like like I'm always grateful for people's differences, but if I had to like if I had to if we swapped positions and like it's someone that you look down on, I think that person for me would be I think someone who just has a like is very narrow-minded, I think. Narrow-minded cuz again, like if I had to analogize us, you and me, like I used to be very narrow-minded and think like, oh, everything has to be this way because I think this certain way, so everything else has to like match it, right? But then as I grew up, like I realized like there's so many different kinds of people in this world. Also, life is really hard, and it's like what you can do to adapt. So like people who are not adaptable, who just like feel like the world. Oh yeah, people who victimize themselves. Oh, dude, I got like I don't like that. I think that's a loser to me. Like someone who just feels like the world is against them. Because the world like I'm so sorry, the world does not care about you. The world does not care about you. And I feel like the one of the worst parts about me is like I do victimize myself a lot. And like I always catch myself victimizing myself. And so when I see other people doing it, I'm like, oh,
Okay,
you. No.
what about me? Because I'm sure you've seen me victimize myself all the time.
Okay, you're different. You're actually different. And like, but in a good way, okay? In a good way.
Wait, how? Because I feel like I wasn't. I feel like I was truly a victim in my own mind, and it's only something that changed kind of like semi recently.
Maybe.
But
Maybe I'm not remembering, but
go ahead. Why am I different?
every time, like, if you do ever victimize yourself or you feel bad about your situation, like, almost immediately after, you'll say something that shows a lot of self awareness. Like, people who victimize themselves and then, like, can't see that they're, like, just blaming the world and they can't look at themselves and be like, am I the problem? Like, that is a problem. Like, that, I don't like that. So, I think for you, like, you always follow up with some kind of, like, and I know that I do like that in itself is like one step up from, you know, people who victimize themselves. If you wanted to ask me what annoys me about you, there's a lot of other things. Of course, I love you. I love you like 100 times more than you know what you annoy me with, but
Thank you.
yeah, that's I like yeah, I just I wouldn't classify you as that at all.
Because I think it was. I think I now view that like as same as you. People who victimize themselves. I think they're losers as well. But
I
I
feel so bad
was
using this word though. Like
no.
if someone like is actively struggling with this, like like I don't want to call somebody a loser. But I get what you mean. You're like saying loser in quotes, like your definition of the loser.
Yeah. And I think that is something that I think the very definition of loser could mean that there's something wrong with ourselves, right? Because like go
No,
back from where you came
exactly.
from is not a very graceful thing for me to say, right? Maybe I need to work on my attitude towards losers. I think that's definitely one of the conclusions. I need to see people that remind me of the worst versions of myself and be like, I used to be like you, or I understand what you're going through. Like I want to
Mm-hmm.
help you out, but I'm not like that. I don't know.
No,
It's like
it's hard
pretty
because
bad. Yeah.
I think when you look at those people, you see a mirror, and and especially if you love that person, like I think this happens with like parents, right? Like um I think sometimes like they'll see a mirror in their like kid, and then some kind of projection happens, right? Like you know that have you seen that one Netflix one thing where that mom like was bullying her like daughter relentlessly and like through
No.
text, like this anonymous, and she was like bullying her and like saying like weird like sexual things about like her daughter's boyfriend, and like and it was like, oh yeah, it started off like, oh, this anonymous person was like relentlessly like harassing this girl, and then at the end it was like, and it was her mother. Have you seen that?
Okay, it sounds familiar, but
Anyways,
um,
but like
yeah,
yeah, like when you see somebody, especially if you love them, like I think it can get worse, right? Like if it's
that's a
like
good
some random
point.
person and they're like someone I don't like, oh, I don't care. Like I'm not gonna see them again,
Right.
and I don't have a personal investment. But if it's someone I love, right? Like take my sister for example. Shout out. But like sometimes I'll see her. I know she's like a lot more shy than me, so sometimes I get really frustrated when she's like shy. Like I'll be like, oh, like just go and like say something, right? But it's because like I used to be exactly like that, and then it hurts more because I love her so much that like I want
Mm-hmm.
her to be better than what I was. And like I said, they could apply to parents, your friends, So yeah.
Right. And I guess I also want to ask, is there hope for the losers of the world?
I think yes, because
Okay.
you came out nice. You came out well. And
I'm still working on it,
I
we'll
think
say.
everybody has their timeline. So if someone is a
Mm-hmm.
loser right now and you look at them and they're 30 years old, you're like, damn son, like grow up. Maybe
Right.
he grows in his 40s, as you are growing in your 20s, he could be growing in his 30s. And so I think there's a timeline for everybody. But obviously, there are also
Is
some
there a
people.
time limit? Is there a time limit?
I think if you're like too far gone at some point, there's no hope, right? Like if you're so deep into your insecurity and you're like there's less and less hope, I think. Like the longer, like I think for my loser, quote unquote, it's like the longer that you indulge yourself in like victimizing yourself and blaming the world and not getting up and taking some kind of action to like adapt, right? What did I say? I said this last week as well. It's like it's not like how hard, like you can't control the wind that blow, like how hard the wind blows, but you can control your sails, right? Like you have
Right.
to get up and adapt, right? But if you're so far gone that you're just so used to being like, woe is me, like the world is all against me, like my life freaking sucks, you know?
Yeah.
Do you know that
Eh,
one scene in Meet the Robinsons? Sorry, where he's
no.
like, everybody hated me, and then he's walking through the hall, and everyone's like, "Hey, Goob, what's his name? Goob." He's like, hey, Goob, what's up, Goob? Want to come to my house?" And he's like, "Everybody hated me." It's like that. It's like, dude, you have so much going for you, and there's so much you could achieve,
I
right?
think
But like,
that's right. I
if you're
think that's
so
right.
far gone, you get less and less hope.
Yeah.
So you gotta catch it fast, or have people around you to help you catch it, right? Like honest, objective people who love you enough to tell you the truth.
I agree. I agree. And I think something that I do is I don't use language that's like, I don't know what the right word is, that is permanent. Like I don't say things like, "Oh, I am this way." That's just the way I am. I think I have stopped using phrases like that because um that's a phrase that losers will use, I believe. That's just the way
Oh,
I am.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, like, well, the sentence that's just the way I am sounds like no willingness to change or grow. That's kind of what it
Right.
sounds like.
Right.
Like giving
It's
up
like a
on, like, you just have to accept me for the way I am, like that. I'm just like
exactly.
that, right? Like, you're so lazy, you never do any chores. I'm just like that.
Yeah.
Like that.
If you say that, that is giving in to the loser, right? Like you'll never change if you say that,
The
right?
beast
That's just the
inside.
way I am. Exactly, right? That's just the way I am. And so I think the problem with being a loser for a long time, like I think many losers have been losers for most of their life, right? Like you have to kind of justify being a loser to yourself, right? How can you justify your existence? Like you have to make up a narrative you have to make up a storyline that justifies why you are the way you are, right? So like, oh, I was a loser because I had this kind of trauma when I was a child and had this
Mm.
kind of thing that happened to me and I had this thing. It makes sense, right? Can't you understand? Can't you accept me for what I am?
Yes!
Right? I had
Dude, this is not. We have to disagree a little bit soon, okay? Because all we've been doing is agreeing.
Yeah. I know. We've been so agreeable today. I think it's that first episode it like brought us together or something, but um I think when people are like they'll tell this story to themselves, to the people who will listen, right? To like their therapist maybe even. And they need to believe in this story, this origin story of becoming a loser. It's like the opposite of a
Mm-hmm.
hero origin story. Cause cause if they don't, then they have no excuse like to be what they are, right? So at that point, like you've told the story so many times, it might not even be true. You might have exaggerated it. It might be true. I don't know. But then like I think it requires like a big like mental shift. Like something needs to shatter. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't need to shatter. But like I feel like it might be instant. It might be gradual. But I feel like something needs to shatter
Mm-hmm.
in like your own narrative. Like
I think you just need to have a moment of like
um.
humility. Like, dang, I am like this and it's
Mhm.
bad and I need to do something. Like, there's a next step I can take to not be what I am right now, right? Like, there's something I can be that's
Right.
better.
Exactly. And I think I've told this to you before, but like I had if you had childhood or if I had childhood trauma, it could be true, but it's not happening to me right now, right? Like it's not a recurring nightmare
Mm-hmm.
that happens to me every night. Maybe it is, who knows. I'm not trying to say for the whole world, but like holding on to that trauma is not something that's
Mm-hmm.
serving you
It's
in
holding
the
you
current
back, I
moment,
think.
right? It's holding you back, right? It's existing. Why is it existing in your mind? It's serving as your excuse to continue to be the way you are,
Wow,
right?
I agree.
So I think I had that kind of shift, I think. Although I'm not like, mm, I think I'm still a loser in some
But I think
ways,
you've
but
reframed it in a way. Yeah. Yeah, the
the
slope is
slope
positive.
is
Like, I
positive,
think
yeah.
you're defining yourself
Yeah.
as a loser, but your intentions are like, I'm not going to sit here and be a loser. Like, I'm going to keep, you know. Oh, I
Yeah.
really loved your opinion in this podcast. And we've run out of time on the top.
Dang it. Okay, so next time we'll come up with
Yeah.
some more
I think,
divisive things to share. Oh,
but
we're
we
supposed
didn't
to
do
do a
it
like
this week
segment.
because we got a little tripped up with the
Okay,
recording and
true.
stuff. But we'll
Yeah.
do that next week. We'll remember to do it when I edit the videos together. Um, What was I gonna say? What were you saying? Say what you just said. I have such a bad memory.
You were just wrapping up for us. I was like saying the segment thing. Um,
But yeah,
just finish
I mean,
wrapping up.
I think. What I was gonna say was, I think we just covered it, like our conversation topic devolved into like a part where we are very similar, and so we ended up just like talking about that like the whole time. So like it's not that we're like completely opposites. I think we're just like there's some parts where we are the same, and then we'll just end up agreeing. And maybe it's because like I'm more of like a keyboard warrior on Discord, and like I love to agree with you when I don't see your face. Like when I see your face, like you're more like humanized, you know. So maybe I just need to come more angry or something. Anyways, do you want to close this out?
Okay. Okay. Well, thanks for joining us on another episode of
I
I Don't
hate
Hate You.
your
I hate
opinion.
your opinion.